and start getting real.
The real world.
Buenos Aires.
Man, this real world confessional is really weird. But we all showed up at the house yesterday. There were 6 of us, and we were really excited to be there. The house was decadent. There was tons of bedrooms, a big pool table. We were right outside Buenos Aires. It was just awesome. And everybody showed up at the house. We got to meet everybody. Everybody picked rooms, and then we jumped in the pool. And we had just a great swim. And then while we were swimming around, this guy, Jim, showed up. And none of us were really clear where he was. And we asked him who he was. And he said his name was Jim Castro. And he was a cast member from Cuba. He said he was an Olympic swimmer. So Tech pushed him in the pool. Thought that would be funny. See the swimmer swim. Well, anyway, Jim couldn't swim. So I had to put on my water wings and swim after him and pull him out of the pool. And as he was catching his breath, he looked at me and said, "What's your favorite breakfast cereal?" I thought, that's kind of an odd question. But I said, "Blueberries," and he gave me a really big hug. I'm starting to question this guy, Jim.
Well, you know, it's been about 3 weeks in the house now, and things are going pretty well, but I'm beginning to question this fellow Jim. I think initially we were told that he was a swimmer from Cuba, which we subsequently learned just wasn't true due to his almost drowning. Then he began to tell everyone that he was a courier from San Francisco, and all of us sort of drew the Puck connection, that you know, there was a Puck character on the San Francisco real world, and we also began to notice that that's really all that Jimbo could talk about was the real world. He talked about the real world San Francisco, he talked about real world New York. Anyway, so after the bike courier incident, we went bike riding. It was pretty obvious that Jim was no bike rider. So he told us that he was an underwear model from New York City, which we all know that's what Eric from Real World Number 1, we know that's what he did. Anyway, so we realized that this Jim, there was something a little suspect about him. So we had a big confrontation. Is what we had. So anyway, we all gathered around the house. We were eating a meal of plantains. And anyway, we gathered around the table, and we had a confrontation with Jim, and he confessed to us that his name really wasn't Jimmy Castro, but that he was in fact some sort of product manager from Silicon Valley for a product called Quicken. Well, once we heard about this Quicken, it's all Jim could talk about. Quicken, 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 Quicken. We just couldn't get him shut up, and frankly, Jim, he got on our nerves. He got on all of our nerves, very seriously. And so, anyway, so we began to make some plans to take care of Jim.
Well, 4 weeks have gone by now, and there's only six of us in the house. But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. What happened after everyone found out Jim was a product manager on Quicken was everyone basically stopped talking to him. They thought he was a liar. They just thought he was the worst. But that went against everything I learned in my sorority life. Always befriend the little guy, and I wanted to help Jim sell more Quicken. I mean, I told him about my plan. He should just go to sorority and fraternity house dinners and get up there and tell them about the merits of Quicken. I mean, everyone knows that the Greek system is the most powerful form in the world. Anyway, I know Jim supported my sorority ideas, and therefore I taught him the Alpha Phi secret handshake. The only thing was that I'm not sure about Jim, because all he ever said to me was, "No hablo inglés, no hablo inglés." I mean, I don't understand why he wouldn't speak English. I know he knows English, but for some reason he just wouldn't do it. Anyway, so we went on safari about 4 days ago, and everyone in the house before we left were talking and trying to put together some master plan to get rid of Jim. So we're on safari in the Amazon, and we're in this Land Rover, and I saw that they were going to push him over. And I really got nervous because I felt so bad for Jim. I mean, I was looking out for that little guy. So I just shoved him this power bar, and I gave him the survival kit, and I just hope he's doing okay.
Later, back in Mountain View.
Steve, you're not going to believe it. We just got a call from the Intra-Fraternity Council, and they ordered 4 million copies of Quicken for every fraternity and sorority person in the country. That's unbelievable. I heard they got the information from Jim. Apparently he showed up on a burro at the airport and got flown back to the United States, and all of a sudden went to the Interfraternity Council National Convention, and they thought Quicken was a great idea.
I know, Jim's a great guy and we're really gonna miss him. Bye.